Ich träume und die Welt.
Stream. Ready up 10%. Okay. Done. So it should be okay now. So, guys, we're gonna start the interview. I have Radee here with me on Discord, like we do every Sunday. As I can see, Radee has joined us in Altdorf with his Knight of the Blazing Sun. And Radee, welcome to the stream.
Thank you, Fixer. Thank you for having me on this interview too. This is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I hope you're gonna like it. Don't have difficult questions for this series. Maybe next year we'll have more difficult questions for you. Yeah, we'll see. People asking for more like difficult questions and other stuff. But this year I'm gonna keep it simple, trying to introduce all the streamers to all the people that watch the streams. And for next year, we're all good in health and all that. We'll do something different. So let me ask you. I know you are from the States, but you know the United States have a lot of states apparently. So which one are you from? Because we got a lot of people from the US, from different states, and I want to see if we can place you near somebody else.
Gotcha. I'd say so I did like you talked or we brought up some of your past interviews. I think the most recent was Keckers. I'm actually from Pennsylvania,
Right.
and I know from his experience I'm pretty close to him. But I'm born and raised, and I currently still live in Pennsylvania.
Right. Okay. Good. Pennsylvania. I'm sorry. I'm just working on my head. You know, I had people from like L.A. What's the other one down south? I think Hillshot is from there. Louisiana, I think, is it? Something like that.
Oh yeah, that's yep.
It's no. I'm just thinking about it because you know it's widespread. Like in the States,
Yeah.
it's not only you know the north. It's all over the place. This game is spreading everywhere, and I find that
Oh, yeah.
interesting. So, North Carolina is Hillshot. All right, okay. Thanks, Sergey. Sorry, my bad. North Carolina then. Anyways, but it still states that you know it is all over the place, and it's a good thing that the game is expanding. We have reached recently 1,500 people, so that's good. So, Radee, do you play? First of all, let me just ask this: do I pronunciate your character's name correctly? Radee. Is it Radee? Radee?
So I think the biggest thing, one of the biggest confusions with my name is the pronunciation. Everyone, there's two pronunciations. They aren't wrong. Both of them are not wrong. Radee is the way it should be pronounced because of the way it's spelled out. But people also call me Radee. So that's
Radee.
Radee or Radee are totally fine. It goes both ways.
Okay, Radee. Yeah, it's I don't know. It reminds me like the word laddie, Radee. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, as you know, laddie, the Scottish and the dwarves
Yep.
use it, that sort of thing. Okay. So, do you play both sides or do you just play order?
Okay, so my biggest thing in any games, I mean, when I grew up playing MMOs, it was first World of Warcraft. On a PvP server, you can only play one side. So I got into that I have faction pride essentially. So I'm only order. I only play order. I don't know if I'll ever play Destro, maybe down the road, but I do only play order.
Yeah, I try to stick to order myself, but now that I'm streaming, I do feel the need to have a character on Destro as well. And today we decided with the viewers that I had to do a project to level up a Magus and give him Fixer's build as far as possible, to do tanky build on the Magus and do a direct comparison. So I've started playing Destro, you know, as a project.
I did see you. Yeah, I did see you on your Magus. That's a good idea though, compared to, I mean, because the legendary engineer has to give the perspective on the Magus side at that point.
Yeah.
To show the differences.
So I think it's going to be good for the viewers, you know, to level up the Magus together, build them together, and then compare it to something already done there. But anyways, so you have, you said you have side pride, you know, for order. You know, you're on that side, you don't play the other one. I used to be like that, but like I said on the stream, I've changed a little bit for the needs of that. But do you think there's like there's a lot of people that change sides in the play. Do you think that that helps the game, or do you think that that doesn't help the game? I mean, where do you stand about X-realming?
So, I'm a little into I've brought this up a couple times before. I personally think that side switching does not help the game. I think it actually hinders the game. I believe there's a really good population of players that are already in this game for one server. You look at all these games, EverQuest, World of Warcraft, Dark Age of Camelot, all these games when they first came out, servers back in the early 2000s weren't that big to begin with. They only had population 1,500, 2,000, 3,000 players. It wasn't anything crazy, but there was plenty of balance on those servers for that population. And this game, even though we hit the 1,500 cap, that doesn't mean we only have 1,500 players. That's just 1,500 players on at one time. This game easily has probably 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 consecutive players. I don't know the exact numbers, but if you can get all these players to just stick to the one side, work on characters on that one side, build relationships or build friendships, alliances, guilds, be able to build equal strengths on both sides, in my opinion, you'd see way better. It wouldn't be the Zergy side switching one day's Destro, one day's Order kind of RVR. I think RVR would be much more back and forth. And I think a better system would come into play that would help RVR progress faster. You wouldn't get these kind of stalemates and these Zergs that kind of gets hit in one zone for 6 to 7 hours at a time. I think things could become a little bit more progressive in the RVR scene. And then I also think that if you had more of these players that kind of stick to their same sides, they build these 6-mans together more, they play more and more frequently, they're able to add on to that. I think you see a better balanced scenario. You'll have a lot more tanks. You don't have these guys swapping sides depending on if they're winning or losing. You have them playing on the same side, which means they might keep playing the same role, which means you might kind of see those sides or those classes and roles balance out better. So yeah, I think side switching is actually bad for the game, because I think it doesn't allow for the classes and the roles to kind of even themselves out and balance themselves out over time. I think they kind of just get spread and crazy when people just keep left and right and all around.
So on this topic, would you say that you would prefer a system where you pick one side and that's it, you pick, let's say, Order, you play Order, and that's it, you can never go to the other side? Or would you prefer a system like it was on Live, where you could play both sides, but if you chose to play today, let's say Monday, Destro, you could change to Order after 12 hours? So you couldn't change, midway or through the maps and stuff like that. Which system you think would you prefer?
I think I don't want to be hated by anybody. I think honestly, in my opinion, you could technically make an account for free in this game. So I think that you should be locked. I think one account, if you pick the Order side on that account, should be locked. I think that's it. You should only be able to play Order, and that's it. And if you really cared and you really wanted to, make a new account and play Destro on that account, if it really is something you want to do. But I think, again, locking people into a specific side, again, in order to faction pride, Order pride, Destro pride, get that influence going and get people to play more classes on their side, to adapt maybe to a tank, to a healer, to a DPS, whatever it might be at that point, then to kind of just jump to another side based on who's winning, kind of thing, different things like that. So
yeah,
I'm all for locking.
I'm always been up for locking the sides as well. Although now I'm playing a Magus for the project I'm doing, but still I would be up for that, to be honest. So what's your main class that you play on, or that you have like? Are you one of those people we would call alcoholics? You have a lot of characters and you play them, or you like to pick one, and stick with one?
I'd say I don't. I think my biggest issue is finding. I like to play. I'm an alcoholic at first. I like to play a lot of different classes because I'm down. I don't know if I really like something until I really play it. And I play something, you need to. In this game, I think you need to hit level 40. I think you need to lock your full mastery kit I think you need to get all your skills to find out if you really, if something you really enjoy. Now there's classes I can immediately start playing and be like, I'm not going to like this going forward. It's not fun. But Warhammer has a lot of classes that are really enjoyable. I think this game has really unique class identity, amazing, just amazing abilities, amazing skills. The mastery system is really cool. So when you get into things, you might get sucked in for a little bit. And that's what happens to me. I'll be playing tanks and I'm like, wow, I really like tanks. This is awesome. And then I'll see a damage dealer and I'm like, all right, you know what? They look pretty fun. I'm gonna go give that a shot. And then I love that and I'm like, oh man. So I'd say at least right now my knight is definitely my main. I was really big into leading war bands, so that tank role I feel like is the one that should be in the front line. I've always liked tanking, so knight is probably my number one.
Yeah, go on.
But I'm not opposed to playing alts. I think I consider myself an altaholic. I do like a lot of alts.
No, I mean, let me put it this way: from the way I see it, right? Altaholic is someone that will make 20 characters and keep on playing those 20 characters all the time, because he gets bored very easily, or he wants everything. Trying the characters around, all of them, to decide which one you want. I've played all of them. I've ended up with Fixer, but I did play all of them. Altaholic is someone that plays a lot all the time. He has nothing to level 40, but he plays everything. That sort of thing. Yeah, but that sounds good. I mean, I've seen you do a lot of warbands, though, as far as I can tell. Yeah, I stopped doing them about a year ago. So, did you play this game on live, or did you start it up straight up to this private server?
No, so it was a brief history for me on the live servers. So as I said, my first game, I mean, I was probably like 12 years old, maybe 11 years old when World of Warcraft first came out. And it was like that, like I played a lot of computer games, but I never really, like my brother who got me into it never really played EverQuest or any of those other games. I mean, they did. I was never around for it until they really blew up WoW. So that was really big for me. WoW, Burning Crusade, all those games. And then Wrath of the Lich King came out around the time Warhammer came out. Now, my problem with that is I was actually really, really excited for Warhammer. Extremely excited. I remember being in my computer class in high school. I was a sophomore or a junior, one of those. And I just remember hanging out with my friends. We'd be pulling up these really cool armor sets, like the Blackguard and the Black Orc. We'd be looking at all these different cool classes, armor sets, and all this hype. And I was so excited to play Warhammer. I bought the collector's edition. I still have the collector's edition. I showed on my stream every now and then, but I was extremely excited. Got into it, started playing in the beta. I remember in the beta it was like dwarves and green skins, a ton of fun. I found a really cool group on the order side. I was planning to play a rune priest. I remember everything about when I first started getting into the game. And then the game came out. I played it for a while. All my friends were sadly addicted to WoW. They gave Warhammer a shot for maybe 2-3 weeks. They all decided to leave. And then I was kind of here alone playing with the guild. I was still younger, so it was a lot of older guys. I didn't feel like and then Wrath of the Lich King got a hold of me, and I sadly, after about a month and a half, I gave up on Warhammer and went back to World of Warcraft. But I did play on release. I was really excited. I played a lot of the beta, but no more other than, like I said, maybe about 2 months played is all I put in during live.
Sorry, I was just putting in the names. We had people from the chat standing here next to us, so I wanted to put on my options to show friendly names, so I don't have to click them all the time. Yeah, we got Gracchus there on your left, the Rune Priest, who says that he's renowned level 42 because of your warband. It's on the chat there. And I got a couple more people. Yeah, I forgot to put their names on. I like to show people that this is why I picked this area, so people can sit around and they can watch and have the names as well showing up and everything. So I just clicked that on my options because I forgot about it earlier on. So on live, did you play the knight? Did you like continued here, or did you just like?
No. So I played the Rune Priest on live. So I was actually Back in the
But
day,
you were still
I
order on
played
live.
a lot of healers. I was really big in that. Still order. Yep, I still played order. Yep.
Because a lot of people,
That
like
pride
me.
came all the way over.
Yeah, that's good though. That's good though, because I've seen you run your warbands and everything, and you keep pushing at the front. That's where the tanks should be, not at the backlines that we see a couple of tanks these days. But we have a lot of people in the game who played. I mean, I was playing Destro, now I'm playing Order. Some people were doing it the other way around. So that's why I have the question. It's an interesting question to see how people switch, from the live to this one and why and all that. So why? I think you pretty much answered this, but is there a specific reason why this class and not another? Why a tank? Why not a healer like you played on live? Why on this server, this class, knight?
Yeah, that's a good question. I transitioned. I found myself, I guess, in a sense. I found my class identity. It took some time. I played a lot. Again, it probably came through my experience of all other MMOs that I played, but there was a turning point where I thought I was a healer, and then I realized I wasn't meant to be a healer. I was good at it, but and then eventually at one point I tried the tank. I always was like skeptical because my first classes in most of these games were like I was always a huge fan of looking at DPS classes. I was a huge fan of, again, looking at healing classes. Tanks was on the very bottom of my list. They were the last on my list. I just thought I would never do it. I would never want to do it. And then I did it, and then I fell in love with it. That was it. Then I was like, this is meant for me. This, again, I'm a huge fan of even some of your guys in the chat might know. When I run my warbands and when I PvP, I love to be in the front line. I like to be quick with my macros. I like to guard swap. I like to do pretty much everything to make the front line as dangerous as possible for the opposing side. I like them to, when they see my name coming into a fight, I like them to be like, oh crap, here comes Radee. Like, be careful, it's this warband.
Yeah,
so I feel like you need that mindset.
Reputation is everything.
You can't do that. Like, if I was a bright wizard, you can't be the healer 100%. Yep.
Dude,
so what better way to do it than one of my favorite roles now, which is the tank.
True, but imagine this, now that you mentioned this and the reputation, imagine if we walk in the scenario right now, right? And they see Radee, Fixer, Zarbix, and Kekers, and Thesis, it's like I'm just picking a couple of names, because definitely Zarbix has a name, you have a name, Fixer has a name, right? And Kekers, I think, has a name. I'm not picking like, population-wise on the streams, but I'm talking about in-game population. Leave the stream out. Everybody knows I'm a tanky NG. Everybody knows you're running good warband and all that.
I feel like we'd be dangerous. We'd be a dangerous group if we went in there.
Yeah, just by reputation, OG, what's happening, OG?
You have to
you
have to get that set up for us. You have to tell Thesis and Keckers and Zarbix. Tell them all we have to.
You have a
different SC day.
I'll tell you what. I'll say this on this interview as well. On the last interview I did with Keckers, we were talking. Oh right, okay. Sorry, I was reading the chat because OG says, "See that? I'm out." I ask him what he means, and he says that if I saw that group, because OG plays Destro 90% of the time. Says if I saw that group with you, Randy, Fixer, Zarbix, and all that, I would leave the scenario immediately. So, yeah, I've on the last interview I had with Kekes, I said that there will be a point during December at some point that I'm hoping to do it, to invite everybody that I took an interview during 2019 towards the end of the year and make one big interview / party on Discord for the end of the year. So I think that honestly would be a great idea. Yeah, if we manage to do it by then, let's just be all healthy and safe, and then we'll see how we're going to work on that. So now that you play the knight, and you're already level 40, what? 40... What's your renown like?
40 with 61 renown.
40, 61. So you've been playing for a while, and you just started brand new 40. Do you feel that the knight is on equal footing with his counterpart on the Destro, which is the Chosen?
Well, From what okay, so since I don't play destruction, I kind of learn as I maybe if I die to a chosen or if I'm in a fight or something, and I kind of see their abilities and kind of read about them. So I don't really know too much on their end, but I feel like we both have our strengths and weaknesses. I think we're very similar though. I can't really see.
Oh, definitely.
There's definitely not like, yeah, there's definitely like Knight's not like. I think chosen. I don't know what abilities set them apart, but I do think chosen two-handers are stronger than Knight two-handers. I don't know if it's just because of the convenience of the groups that we play with or something like that at the times we're playing, but they do feel like they punish a little bit more as tanks. On the sword and board side though, I feel like they're very equal. If not, I feel like the Knights are really strong. Like I don't really
Right, okay, that's fair enough. I mean,
I don't see too much difference there.
I've played Marcus before. I had the level 40. I deleted him, but now I'm doing it again to do the project of comparison there. But definitely, you need to play a class to know what you're talking about. But I also have the feeling of that, and we have this conversation like yesterday and today in a couple of streams that I said that I feel that two-handers do more damage than they should as tanks, and that's how it feels. You know, I'm not saying it's necessarily true, but it's the feel. But yeah, maybe balance is like that. You know, that the Knight is a bit stronger with the shield, the Chosen's a bit stronger with the two-hander. So you both have your plus and minuses depending on your choice of build. So if you were not allowed to play this class, the Knight, all right, for some reason, let's say it's locked, it's deleted, whatever, what class would you pick to play if not this one?
Oh God. I'd probably still stick to the. I'd still stick to the tanking, so I'd probably go Swordmaster.
Swordmaster.
Actually, I would go. I would 100% go Swordmaster if I didn't the Knight.
Yeah, I'm laughing because people are starting to like stand on top of me. Yeah, the Swordmaster is a good.
Around up in front of us.
Yeah, I don't mind running around, but sitting on top of me, I do. I'm a dwarf, but you know, I can hide underneath the mount. That's why I don't like it. Right? Yeah, no, the Swordmaster is a great choice. You know, it's a great class. People complain does a lot of damage, it's 200 and all that. I think you would excel on that one as well. So, yeah. I know we mentioned that you do a lot of warbands, but would you class yourself as an open RVR person or a scenario person?
Definitely from my past experience or from my current experience on the server, I definitely consider myself probably more for open RV for scenarios. However, recently I have been doing more scenarios, at least during the 2 times. So I've been getting a little bit more involved there, but I definitely see myself more RVR. Definitely more RVR.
But you should do the scenarios to get the weapons. They're very good. I think they're better than the subjugator. At least that's my opinion.
Yeah, I have to. That's the one thing I have to get into.
Yeah.
Is to get those weapons.
So why do you like RVR instead of scenarios? I mean, to give you an idea, I like scenarios because it's like 6 versus 6 or 12 versus 12. So the numbers are preset, pretty much always, you know, standardized as population goes. And then there's only the variation whether you're going to have enough healers or tanks. So it creates a more balanced fight. While on the open RVR, you could be running your nice little 6-man and get run over by 24 people, which is the warband. That's a part I don't like. So why would you say that you like PvP open RVR more than scenarios? Is it the warband setting? You know,
I think it's the warband setting. I feel like I can get so my biggest thing with scenarios is premates. So coming into the game, I came into the game mid-January. I think I got my up by like the first week of February. And during that time, I dabbled with scenarios and I dabbled with RVR. And the more I learned about how to run the different, like the specific 2 healers, like 2 healers, 2 tanks, like I learned the settings of the composition for used to that mindset. And as I got used to that mindset, I realized it's actually pretty easy to fill these groups, at least most of the groups, pretty sufficiently with the right amount of healers, the right amount of tanks, the right amount of DPS. You have a big pool of people going into RBR. With scenarios, and this is no offense to the devs or anything like that, but with scenarios, you have only one pug scenario every week.
Yeah.
And then you have the risk of joining many scenarios, and depending on your time of playing, which seemed like it was during my time of playing all the time. It was just how my schedule just turned out. But I would be getting online and logging, facing a lot of pre-mades on the desk, and we would get absolutely smoked all the time. Like, and it was just like, I think it was just during the times I played, because there has been times where it's completely opposite. The order would run train and just destroy.
Yeah.
But that's like very rare times I'd be able to get on. So I'd say I have a problem with there's not enough pug scenarios. There's not enough pug scenarios. There's only that one option. I think there should be more flexibility for these guys who play the game solo or duo. And sadly, I know there's a lot of 6-mans, but I think there should be more restrictions to the pre-mates.
Yeah, we were talking about this in the other day, and we said that it would be nice if we had something like 3 pug scenarios. So there will be more versatility, so you don't do every day the same one. And if there's a lot of people, you can do more, because when you have like, or you could have a pug, I don't know, maybe one pug that you can, queue with 2 people, and a pug you can queue with 3 people, something like that. So you make it a little bit bigger the party. You still not a pre-made with 3 people, in my opinion, and you can do something like that as well. Yeah, I totally agree with that. So if we take in account that your main class is the knight, and that's the one you play the most, what tips could you give to someone, right, who is watching us right now and is thinking, should I play a knight? Something you would like to tell him?
Yeah, okay. So anybody who's interested in playing a knight, in my opinion, you definitely want to play. You're going to be coming into this game. Your archetype is tank. You need to kind of accept that role, and I think this goes for all the classes, and we can talk about this other time with DPS archmages and all those other things. But you're picking a role that's very important, and it has a lot of benefits for the role of tanking. And tanking in this game, especially in PvP, is supporting. So if you're going to play the knight, don't expect to have fun with the 2-handed build. It's still really strong. They reverse, so good on them for that. In my opinion, if you're going to be playing a knight, your strongest is your sword and board, and your strongest is your supporting role. Learn how to use your keybinds. One of the biggest things, such as enemy, to kind of help you figure out your guard and your positioning. But the biggest thing I'd say is learn how to guard swap. As any tank, learn how to guard swap. It's really strong if you can utilize it, and make sure you're just popping the right cooldowns and rotation when you're fighting an RBR or fighting a scenario using AoE taunts. Just make sure you're just learning your abilities so that you can use them to support your team as best as possible. You're not going to be the one doing damage, but you have so much CC, and you have a lot of abilities that help you become a huge detrimental part of the destruction's offensive if you use things properly. And then I'd say the final big thing is learn how to tank, keep lords.
Sorry, I'm laughing about that. Yeah, yeah, because no, I'm glad you say it this way, because I have pretty much the same opinion. A lot of people, they feel like, they make a character where there's a tank to range DPS or whatever, and they need kill. And I was just saying that we have lost some of the support roles because everybody wants high DPS and kills. There's so much more fun playing support classes. They're more complex than we present them. Guard swapping for me when I play my IB, first of all, it's like essential for a tank to know how to guard swap in the middle of the fight and keep an eye on who's dying, where to switch, what's the distance, and all that. It's very complex to do and keep an eye on all that. And people fail to do that time after time. It's a basic skill of a tank, and people don't have it. So it's not all about the damage and the killing. It's also about the support. And I'm trying to put that out to people. And you're the first one I'm actually talking to that actually, has embraced this, not just understanding, but embracing it, put it into his character, and he's doing it in action. So, I don't know if I don't know if you played. You said you were playing Rune Priest in live. So I don't know how well you can answer the next question. Whether you think that the classes on live compared to the classes here, because the classes here, there's a few changes on the trees of the skills on the paths. There's some renown missing, some renown added, some skills different, gear is different. Would you say that, if you can, that is, whether the classes, how do you feel? Is the classes from live better, or the classes that we have now, they are a little bit better?
At first, for what I was able to experience, the classes are definitely way more extremely balanced from the time that I was playing. The devs do an amazing job here. There's a lot of abilities that kind of either made classes useless or made them really strong that came from live over to this into the server. And I think the devs do a really good job at kind of balancing those classes and again keeping up with their unique identities. So in my opinion, I think classes now are definitely way more balanced than they were on live.
I definitely agree that they're more balanced. There's a question from OG Alpacalypse there on the chat for you. It says, do you think that would be a good idea for a tank-specific scenario stat tracker, like damage, mitigate, guarded, blocked, etc.?
Yeah, actually, I think that's probably one of the greatest ideas that you can add, especially to a scenario. Again, one of the biggest things I feel like is, I feel like tanks don't get enough credit. And you don't see a lot of tanks. I think it's more because it's a role that not everyone wants to fill. It's not that exciting. People want to see, like, when you end a scenario, that's the first thing you look for. You look for your killing blows. You look for your damage done, or if you're a healer, you look for your healing. As a tank, you just go in there, and if you win, you know that you did a good job. Now, sometimes, again, if you're playing 2 in a tank, you might check for your damage, but for the most part, there's nothing that really screams like, oh, you did such a great job as a tank, when you might have actually carried. Like, they might not know it, but you were guard swapping like crazy. You were mitigating a lot of damage. They might not have seen it, but you knew you were doing that, and it would just be nice to see that. It'd be nice to be able to see those kind of numbers in the game.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Yeah,
and
no
if
flex.
yeah, no flex. But the thing is, though, with the tanks, you're right. There's no stat to actually see they're doing a job, and also, it's sometimes like with the healers. For example, when I play my Root Priest, I follow the path that automatically will put a shield on you. And when the shield goes up, it absorbs the damage, but it doesn't show up on the stats because I didn't have to heal that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it may look a build like that produces, automatic shields. You look on your stats at the end of the healing, you're like, oh, I only did 100, the other guy did 300, what's up? But it doesn't count some stuff. So the tanks can get that, what's the word in English? That verification that they did a good job because they can't see the number, And I think that's that's what people are looking for, the gratification or the approval of like, look, I am top DPS, I did a good job. Oh, I'm in the middle, I didn't do a good job. There'll be so many different variables making those numbers up that, I'm quite happy when I play my tank. I play an IB, his main role, guard, buff, knockdown, punt, stuff like that. And the whole buffing thing, I find it very difficult. So many buttons.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, you have your auras and you buff everything, but try to put one for willpower, one for, for weapon skill, one for toughness, one for that, one for the other, shield for the spell. Every single button. I like it, but I'm finding it very difficult to do that in combat, Anyways.
100%. Yep.
Yeah, but definitely, I do feel, I do like tanks with shields and all that. So that brings me to my next question here. What do you think, or how do you feel about the new content that's been released? As new content, I'm talking about the invader set, the fortresses, some of the changes on scenarios with the queuing system and all that. Good, bad, don't care.
All right. So I think you need content. You always need content, especially in MMOs, especially. Eventually, you can only do so much until players start to get a little antsy or bored or something along those lines. So the content's amazing. So I think they did a really good job. Dev team that they have. I think forts are amazing. I think they definitely have their kinks that need to be worked out, and I know they've been actively watching them and keeping up with that. But the sooner I think we can get to city sieges, and the sooner we can kind kind of finalize the game and get it polished and get it to a point where it was on live, I think the better for a lot of players. So recently seeing the first week seeing the invader seats or the invader sets come out, I was a little skeptical about some of the class set bonuses and stuff like that. And then I think a week later they changed a lot of things. They tweaked a lot of things. They gave some buffs to a lot of sets, which is really good. Again, as long as the devs, they've been doing an amazing job, but as long as the devs are on top of their game, they keep up with constant updates and constant changes and bug fixes and all that, I think the content's a really good idea. I do think forts are a great idea, and I do think the invader set was a great addition to keep people grinding and pushing for bettering their characters and min-maxing themselves.
Yeah, no, I'm just asking this question usually because I don't know if there's any devs watching, but it's good to hear the opinion of people about this, because there's some people that say, oh, I don't care because the set is not very good, or I don't care because the mechanics is shit, or you know, I'm waiting for this, I'm waiting for that. So it's a general question to get a feel about that. And I think because we had a dev earlier on my stream, I don't know if he's still around, but definitely helps, you know, to get some opinions out there, and the stream gives them that opportunity to be heard. So these were just like my general questions about, you know, you and the game there. So I want to go to the second section of the questions, which involves more about your stream, because you are a streamer. That's why you're here. Yes. This series is about fellow streamers. So are you, generally speaking, a new streamer? I mean, like you started this year, or you've been streaming other games in the past?
Oh boy. Okay, so I'm not gonna. It would be too long to talk about my history of streaming.
No, keep it short. Like I started 5 years ago. I don't know, something like that.
Exactly. Yeah. So I started back, I think, about 2013, 2014.
Wow.
Actually, it was a little bit on and off at first. I didn't really have the best internet, and a lot of the games I required better internet. So I'd say I really started doing it about 3 years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, right before they dropped the affiliate. About a year right before they started the affiliate system and stuff like that on Twitch. So I've been doing it for a while. I started with World of Warcraft. I came over from another MMO, but I am definitely I think in the long term of things, I'm definitely a variety streamer. That's how I've always kind of been. I do commit to games, but I also mix it up. I've built an audience around of people who like a lot of different things. So I like to grind games and stick to games, but I also like to add, like, there's always like 2 or 3 games in the mix. I usually try to keep it fresh for my viewers.
Yep. Oh, that's a good plan. But me as a new streamer, I'm gonna stick to this one for a bit, trying to get the what's the expression you use? Learn the ropes.
Learn the ropes.
Yeah, learn the ropes.
Yeah,
and then we'll see. So you stream different things. I've started on this January.
Doing a good idea.
So when do you stream? Do you have like a steady schedule, or is it, you know, whenever you're on, you're on?
So I've always had I usually have a schedule. My schedule's pretty consistent. I always stream, like, you'll always see me. Used to be very specific. Like I'd start at one time and then I'd stream for about 6 to 8 hours that day. But school and work has kind of really caught up to me at this point. At one point when I first started streaming, I wasn't in school. I was only doing work, and I had my hours were a little bit different. Now I work at a store where I'm the only employee, and then I go to school 3 days a week. So these days, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Saturdays, Sundays, like I have a general start time, and I aim to stream for about 6 to 8 hours. Like most people that watch me could usually expect to watch me for at least 6 hours during my days where I stream. But the starting times, they all vary.
Right. Okay. So,
but I used to have that schedule. I used to have it from A to B, but and I'd say consistency is very important. Life also beats you up, and you can't always do it.
Yeah, I know. Trust me, I have a schedule for 4 times a week, 4 hours every time. I try to be here on time every day. You know, I'm starting like local time for me is 6 o'clock, so I try to be there. But I can never end it on the schedule. I usually put like 4 hours, but I always end up being like 5, 6, 10. You know, I'm missing it on the end part. which is good because you stay longer with your friends and your viewers, and you're having fun.
Yeah.
So you stream on Twitch, but do you stream in other platforms? I mean, like I know you cannot do it at the same time in other platforms because the TOS changed to Twitch. But do you stream other days in other platforms like I don't know, Mixer or YouTube or anything like that? Do you have a day that you stream different platforms?
No, I've always just stuck to Twitch. Once I got into it and got my met my friends on here, I've just Twitch was the place, so that's where I've just stuck to.
Mm-hmm. And do you use any other media? I mean, if people want to get a hold of you, right? Besides Twitch, do you have like Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, all this media stuff?
Yeah, I use Twitter. I've thought about other ones, but I'm so bad keeping up with social media.
Tell me about it.
So I use Twitter. That's the one I do the best I can. My max efficiency is on Twitter. But any other ones I don't really use. So pretty much just Twitter and Twitch are my main two.
So people can find your tweet if they want to follow you and all that. Is it listed underneath your stream? If they go on your channel.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yep. If you scroll down to the bottom, there's a big old Twitter icon. You can click that and go right to my Twitter page.
Okay. So okay, you don't play just one character. You stream other ones as well. So when you stream for Warhammer Online specifically, because I'm sort of like focusing on this game at the moment. Do you stream? Do you stream PvP content or do you also do PvE content? Do you have that variety?
I do both.
You do both. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So I think it's really good. I think the PvE is really important in this game. There's a lot of things you can benefit from, and there's a lot of classes that can really use from PvE. So making those friends, helping people gear up is always very important, and getting yourself the gear. There's some pieces that you can kind of min-max and theory craft with.
Yep.
So I do both. I try to give both perspectives. The good old dungeon runs, and then the PvP side as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that as well. There's some nice gear. I mean, the Epic Quest gives you nice gear before you get your scenario weapons. There's a couple of layers in Tier 4 can give you some specific jewels and stuff for specific builds. Have to grind them a little bit. There's people, they think this game is 100% PvP. I would say yes, but there's lovely PvE as well, and there's items you can use from PvE to PvP, and I think people should have a look at that. So I'm quite happy you're doing it, because a lot of people only focus on PvP when streaming, and they don't do at all, not say enough, but at all PvE. So at least now I know there's two of us trying to do that.
Yeah, we can. Anytime you need me for a tank, you got me. Just
yeah.
send me a PM.
Actually, we can go and see. I'm trying to do one layer in KV. I'm trying to get some jewels. So after the interview, we can step there for 5 minutes and see if the boss is up. We can give it a try.
Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah,
100% down.
Yeah, actually, you might want those jewels as well because they're regeneration. You might be making a regeneration build. That's what I'm trying to do for Fixer.
Yeah, they're all regen so good too.
Yeah. So about your stream, do you have any announcements or upcoming events or anything you would like to announce to the viewers watching the interview right now?
Honestly,
so, if you have, if you
honestly,
don't, you don't.
I don't really. No, I always just say I always just encourage people to watch streams and give players support on Twitch, not just me, but to you, to many of the other guys that Return to Reckoning. It's one of Twitch and live streaming in general is one of the best outlets for this game to kind of get out and to get some recognition. Whether it's posting some hashtags on Twitter to come check out Warhammer content, or it's just on Twitch on their front page to kind of show some gameplay, so people maybe jumping on a website can kind of see a little bit of gameplay before they jump into the game. A lot of the times there's people that have never played this game before. They're looking for an MMO to play or something like that, looking for something free, anything along those lines, and they see guys like us, and they jump into our streams and they become really interested in the game, and then they give it a shot. So I'd say I'm not really one that ever I don't really post my Twitch anywhere and stuff like that. I'm always just like as things occur, as people find my stream and stuff like that, introduce them that way, like get them involved. But a lot of you guys do a really amazing job, and to anyone watching, like keep supporting all these guys doing a lot of work trying to make this game a big thing, because the mix between the viewers and the content creators really helps this game out. It's very important. So keep supporting all the streamers if you guys can.
Well, here's an announcement for Radee. He plays Division 2. If you like it, go check it out. He's killing stuff. you know that I come on your stream every morning. Well, my morning, but it's like your 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I see you. Yep.
Yeah, I come in and say, I usually stick around and watch you, but now that you're playing Division 2, I just say hello and then I turn the volume off and then I watch you because it's too early for me to hear all these machine guns and explosions. Yeah. So I just leave it there watching and do other stuff because it's too much fighting, and machine guns first thing in the morning.
Dude, yeah,
but it's definitely fun. It looks like a good game. I'm not very much for. Yeah, it's 7 o'clock in the morning for me. Hearing the machine guns blowing up, gas tanks, the big fucking tanks you do and all that. It's too much first thing in the morning. But it looks like a good game. I'm not very much of a first person gaming myself. But damn, man, it has some nice graphics. The mission looks good. There you go. Graku's his son plays Division 2, so you got a viewer there. Graku's son.
There we go.
So, another question about your stream there. Like in my stream, the more you watch and stuff you do, I have like Dwarven Gold. You can accumulate Dwarven Gold and then you can use it to request songs. You can do other stuff. Do you have a similar system in your stream that viewers might be interested in acquiring and interacting with other stuff?
Okay, so I'll give you a brief history on this because I did do it at one point and I got away from it, and honestly I personally think it killed my viewership a little bit, but it also saved me. So I think doing a currency system in a stream is a very good idea if you do it right. And I think when I first did it, I did it wrong. I had a viewer system where the more points or the more you watch, the more you accumulated your points. And I gave away tons of rewards. I used to play battle royales, MOBAs, different things like that, and I would give $20 like gift codes away after accumulating a certain amount of points and stuff like that. I mean, it was a big amount of points. I would do a lot of those kind of gifts. I would give away a lot of like really big gifts. And what I learned through the currency system is that it could be good. Again, if you do it for more of nothing like monetary related, like one thing that's not super expensive, but maybe for a really big number, it could be good. But I did it and I realized that I have these points and these people build these points and they redeem these points, but I feel they're only here to redeem these points. Like I compared it to my chat interaction and my activity and stuff like that, and I had a lot of these people sit in my channel to watch these, or not. I don't even know necessarily. I can't even say to watch me. I think they were in the channel a lot to build their points more so than to watch me, and they would redeem when they had the opportunities. So I got rid of it, and I noticed a little bit of a difference in my viewership. My numbers were definitely picking up more when I did giveaways and stuff like that, but at the same time my chat interaction wasn't. So I decided, you know what, I'm gonna step away from that, because I either get people watching me, leaving my stream up in the background while they play the game, or they support me by leaving the stream up while they go do something else. That's where I noticed my interaction came, and I just wanted to get away from that money system. So I've actually recently thought about doing it again, just more based on the stream and not what I did in the long run. So
no,
I don't currently, but I did, and it was a mistake for me.
No, I can see your point of view. I understand exactly what you're saying. No, the system I use and a lot of other streamers have right now on the streams is you basically can use it to do. I know you're watching the chat, so I'll show you just that. You can just do this. You just do stupid things like play slots or dice or anything like. And I lose for the 3rd time today. You can challenge. Yeah, you can challenge people to fights on the chat. Things like that. That increases the interaction there on the chat. Basically, no, there's no giveaways as money or rewards or anything like that. Although I am thinking, and I've said this earlier, to like if you get a certain amount of points, you can redeem them for like potions in the game. which is, you know, simple potions you can make.
Yep.
But no, you
Yeah,
gambled all. You,
Oh, he's done.
dude! I told you this bot is freaking.
So
I still use
do think
all
that's
my
a good
tokens
idea.
on Radee in his token daddy. All or nothing. Oh Jesus.
But I think what you do, I think that's the smartest play. And I always encourage streamers to sometimes try to give back too. Maybe like I've thought about a system. Maybe it's not frequently where it's accumulated points, but maybe every now and then I do a giveaway where you can kind of gamble your points, and maybe I'll give something small away, like $20 gift card or something like that.
Oh yeah,
Like, I've always like thought about that's the smart thing, but
it's
anything else,
it's good. But I think for someone to do that, to do what you're saying, it has to be a streamer for a little while before he starts giving out gift cards and stuff like that. And
I agree.
you know, and me being a new streamer, I'm still working out my interface, my layout, and all that stuff. So that's one thing. I mean, for example, one thing I've done, and I've told that to Keckers, and he likes it, is if you have enough points, you can, within inverted commas, buy or exchange to your VIP status. You can buy your VIP status because there's only so little slots, and I don't know to whom to give them to, except a few people that, you know, I feel like it. People, you know, they can get the VIP status and the bonuses through that. So there is a reward, but you know, you have to work to get it. And the VIP status gives you a few things on the stream, every stream. So
and that's what they should be working for. Again, you're supporting that streamer, so it's like you don't need anything that's monetary. You should be doing things that are just fun. Hey, if you can spend 100,000 points and get VIP status in the streamer's stream, that's awesome. That's really cool because that's it's to begin with. And
yeah, so think about it. It would be nice to have more things like that. I think people like it. So guys watching the stream, 4 point. For the people watching the stream right now, our viewers, if you have any question you would like to ask Radee, this is the time to type it on the chat. I will transfer them to him, although he can read them. But if you have something you want to ask him, please do so. So Radee, this is my last question on the list. It's a not very long list, but it normally covers an interview about between 45 minutes to an hour. So here's my last question. Any tips that you would like to give to new streamers that would like to come on board this experience and you know, stream any game, not specifically, you know, Return of Reckoning, but any game. Any tips for new streamers?
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. Okay, yeah, that's good. Okay, so so as a streamer, I've kind of experienced the ups and downs of streaming. One of the biggest things I'd say is if you're going to start don't look at streaming as a job. It's not meant to be. I'm not going to jump into streaming and become a streamer and make money. That's the last thing you want to do as a streamer, because you will absolutely hate everything and you'll quit within a The way you got to look at streaming is I love playing video games. I in some way stream the games and have fun, interact with your chat. Whether it's only one person that comes in the first week, or you get no viewers for the first couple of weeks, learn how to talk to yourself, learn how to be entertaining in any way possible at the very beginning, and just enjoy it as a hobby. Again, you won't make money at first. I don't remember making money at all for a long while, but all it takes is that right moment, being on the right day, getting the right host or the right rate, to really allow yourself to be recognized. And then when you get those moments, take advantage of them. Use that training that when you've talked to yourself a bunch of times, use that training where you've experienced the social interaction by yourself, and use it on those guys who just rated your channel or hosted your channel, so they can be like, oh wow, this guy's actually really engaging. He's really fun. He's really helpful. I like this guy. I'm gonna give him a follow, and build from there. Stick to a game that's not popular. Don't play the Fortnites. Don't play the Apex Legends. Don't play the Dotas.
Sorry for laughing, but that's like the same games that everybody that have been asked this question say. Don't play popular games like Fortnite and Apex.
Yeah. It's my biggest rule. one of my biggest ones. But stay away. You will never make it. If you're trying to make it anywhere in the streaming world, you cannot play the most popular games. You can play middle level games that have maybe 10,000 viewers, 5,000 viewers, and even then it's still going to be tough. Your best bet is to play the games that just aren't as popular. If you want to start to build something, it's the easiest way to get your foot in the door. Don't look at it as a job. Don't look at it as something like, oh, it's where here comes work. I have to go stream today. No, it's like you should want to stream. You should want to get on and just play the game and talk with people, because that's the goal. It's a hobby. It's something fun to do. That's the biggest thing. Enjoy what you do. If you're gonna stream, expect to do it as a hobby and something you love to do, and don't play super popular games, because you will get disappointed real quickly.
Okay. We have one question, so I'm gonna read it anyways, which says, my question is, who's Radee's favorite EU boy? It's a legit question. God. It's a legit question from the viewer. I have to ask it.
Oh God. I know. Here's the thing. I know there's a couple people watching that are expecting me to say their name.
Well, I'll tell you what. Before you answer, there's another person right after this question that says "Late Moon is" with a smiley face. So, if you don't want to answer it, you don't have to. If you don't want to answer that question, but I did ask the viewers to ask a question, and SSD Twady asked that. So,
Twady's my least favorite, so that's at least.
Well, I think we found out who's the least favorite is. So there you have it. Guys, I'm out of questions. These are the questions I usually ask to people for this series of interviews. And I would like at this point to thank everybody that stayed and watched this interview live with us. I also would like to thank Radee for coming on board. And apologize to you all for the delay. We got the times mixed up with Radee, different time zones. So. One second before you go, because I prepared this for you. Sorry, one second, I forgot about it. The chat. This is for you.
Yo, thanks so much for that. With the confetti and awesome.